All right, so today I want to cover two ways in how you can actually reduce your ACoS and continue to optimize your campaign. And I'm going to teach you actually one trick that I use at the very end. So make sure you don't miss that one. What we have here is I'm in my campaign manager here on Amazon Ads. I actually have two campaigns showing data for two of these products that I just launched for my test products here on Debt to Dollars. So far, I've spent $241 in ad spend to generate $348 in revenue, which brings our ACoS for these two campaigns to about 69.22%. Now, the first thing that I want to teach you is how we can actually use these charts to determine when it is effective and when it is not effective to advertise. So this line graph is going to be extremely useful, and to show this information, to filter it down to this screen here, all you have to do is select spend, which is the blue line, and then select your ACoS, which is this purplish line. So as you can see here, there's something abnormal. Everything's pretty consistent up until this April 15th date. My ACoS for that day was 175%, which means I spent $17.5 just to generate $10. So I'm spending more money on ad spend just to generate a sale. Now, when I look at this is what's really abnormal to me. I'm okay with an ACoS under 50% for launching. Ultimately, we want that to be below 20% in the long run. But I'm going to take a look at this April 15th to see what's so special about it. If we look at a calendar, April 15th is actually a Saturday. So I would probably go ahead and I'd pause my ad campaigns by just selecting this down here in the bottom left. I'd pause them on Saturday and ultimately Sunday, since Sunday was also fairly high. And then I'd unpause them or resume them once we got back to Monday. This is a common thing in overall e-commerce that on weekends, we tend to see less sales actually being generated, even though people tend to have more time off. A lot of the buying decisions and e-commerce sales do come during the weekdays, especially on Tuesdays through Thursdays. So that is just something I want you to know when you look at your ACoS. See if there's anything abnormal in your ACoS chart, if there's any days of the week that tend to perform worse compared to other days of the week. Just something to note there. All right, so that's the first way to optimize your campaign. Let's go down a level into our ad groups. So I'm going to select the golf towels campaign here, and this will bring up two of our ad groups. I actually have a keyword targeting campaign where I am placing my sponsored listing on the top of the Amazon search results when someone types in an exact keyword. And then I also have a product targeting campaign where I'm putting my Amazon listing in the recommended listings on competitor listing pages, if that makes sense. So if you're on a competitor listing for a similar product such as mine, you scroll down a little bit and you'll see some sponsored listings saying Amazon also recommends, or customers also brought, and I actually have my listing there at the beginning. Now, what I've always found surprising is that the product targeting campaigns for me personally and all of my products for my business have always performed way more efficiently than a keyword targeting campaign. Now, how do I know this for this particular campaign? If I go over here, we can see the spend. So I spent $123 on the keyword targeting campaign to generate $215, which gives us a return on ad spend of a 1.74. Now, that isn't great. Honestly, we want that to be above a 2.0 and ideally beyond a 4.0. Now, here's where things get interesting. Let's go down to the product targeting campaign. I spent $2. That's it. I've received 2 orders from that, and I've generated over $32 in net sales. So our return on ad spend is 16.17, more than 8 times what we're producing for the keyword targeting campaign. The higher that return on ad spend, the lower your ACoS and the more money you're going to generate compared to your ad spend. So I just want to bring it to your attention that these product targeting campaigns tend to outperform the keyword targeting campaigns for many reasons. And I'll actually go ahead and put a card in the video now where you can access my settings that I use to create this optimized campaign. Now, with that being said, you can see I've only generated 2 orders, even though it was very efficient. So whenever I'm launching a new product, I typically focus on a keyword targeting campaign to get my product out there, in addition to a product targeting campaign. And then in the long run, once I have a decent amount of 5-star reviews and I'm established, I'll go ahead and just focus on my product targeting campaign, since that tends to be very efficient. All right, so that is kind of a side note. I want to get into the second way that we can optimize our campaign, and that is going down into another layer. So now we're in the ad group for this product. I want you to go to the left-hand side for your ad group and select targeting. So now we are at our lowest layer here in the ad campaign and into our ad group. These are all the keywords that I'm targeting individually, and as you can see on the right-hand side, we can also see all of our matrix that make up that ad group for each individual target. Now, the first thing I want to teach you is the quickest way just to weed out a lot of targets that are not performing up to your expectation is to go to the right here, look at the spend column, and if you see any that are greater than $10 in ad spend without any orders, I would go ahead and I would pause that target. This is just a rule of thumb that I use for my business, but it tends to work very well in finding which ones are efficiently working for you or not. The second thing I'll do is I'll head over to the return on ad spend column. And if you recall, I told you that the ideal return on ad spend metric is 4.0 or greater. So I'll go to the right-hand column here for the ones that I have generated sales for, and I'll look at the return on ad spend. If it's less than 2.0, I automatically get rid of it. So I'm going to pause this one here where it says golf towels. And if it's between 2 and 4.0, I'd probably consider it. I'd take a deeper look at, and I'll look at my bid price. And if it's too high, then I'll adjust it accordingly. Let's look at this bottom one here. Golf towels for men is the target. And I brought in one order, which makes my return on ad spend of 5.89. That is ideal, and I would be focusing on this target more than any others because it's been the most efficient one for me. All right, and the last thing I want to mention on this is that the match type. What does this mean? So if we go to add keywords, we can see where it says filter by, broad, phrase, or exact. These are different matching types for the keywords. So for example, let's look at this golf towel keyword, which I've actually been using. If we do a broad match type, it gives Amazon the freedom to put your advertisement in front of any customers that are typing in something that is broadly similar, if you will, to golf towel. So they could be typing in golf accessory, and there's a chance that your listing may pop up in their search results. I don't think that's a good idea because broad search results are for a broad audience. If you want to effectively and efficiently advertise to your actual customer, then you should be advertising to them only, not a broad audience. The next one is a phrase. So if somebody types in golf towel for men, that phrase may kick into effect and also put your ad in front of those customers. The last one, which is the only one I personally advertise when I do keywords, is the exact match type. So the only way my listing is going to pop up is if somebody types in the search bar, golf towel, exactly as that keyword is, then I have a chance of popping up, assuming my bid is high enough. So that's the last thing I want to mention is I would recommend if you're doing a keyword targeting campaign, just do exact for the match type. As you can see here, I found it to be way more efficient compared to those that are broad or those that are doing the phrase match types. All right, so let me teach you this trick now. The first thing we need to do is we need to add the ACoS to our metrics up here, or at least understand what our ACoS is for this given period of time. For this period of time, it is 57.36%. Good to know. So let's take that 57.36. You don't have to put it in percentage form, just keep it like that. And then we want to divide it by our desired ACoS. A great ACoS is typically below 25%. My ideal range is between 15 and 20% since I'm a smaller independent seller. So let's use 20% as our desired ACoS. So again, divide that your existing ACoS for your campaign over the period of time and divide it by your desired, which is 20%. That gives us a coefficient. Now this is going to be a coefficient that we use for our bid types to decrease our bids to get us in that desired range. So for us, let's just use 2.9 as our coefficient and we'll round it to the nearest tenth. Great. So how do we use this? We'll go to Funny Golf Gifts, and right now the suggested bid is $1.36, and the fair range I'd say is between $1.26 and $1.36. Sorry, that's what Amazon is suggesting. Now my bid is currently at $1.19. This works just like an auction. So I am basically a bidder for this advertising keyword. I have a sign up that says $1.19. If I am one of the highest bidders during that given period of time against my competitors who also are targeting that keyword, then I'll win that ad space in front of the customer. You only spend money when someone clicks your ad though. If you're 50 cents and there's higher bidders than you, then you're not going to win that ad space. So I want to take this existing amount that I have, which is $1.19, and then I want to divide that by the coefficient, which was 2.9. So I should change this $1.19 down to 41 cents. And that is the trick. So I'm lowering my bid. Now, what does this mean? This means that I am paying less for advertising space, but it also means that I'm going to be receiving less impressions or views for my advertisement. This is to be expected, but this is a trick that I found during some times of the day, you can actually get away and to win that ad space at a very, very low cost. And this coefficient helps you get there. So we'll run through one more here, the funny golf towel one right below. I have it at 69 cents right now. The other option is you can use Amazon's suggested bid to divide that by your coefficient. So maybe I'll take $1.25 since that's what Amazon is recommending, and I'll divide it by my coefficient, which was 2.9, which gives me 43 cents. So I'd go in here, I'd add 43 cents. After doing this for all of your keywords and your targets, I would go ahead and I would go to the chart up here and I'd select impressions. See how it ends up performing. You should receive less impressions, but you may actually receive a lower ACoS. So those are two good metrics to really take a look at to see if you've actually fully optimized your campaign. All right, and the last thing I want to say is, I didn't go into the obvious stuff. Yes, you can remove keywords as I showed you, and you can also add more to your campaign. But I think these are some unique features and ways of how you can optimize your existing campaign with your existing targets. All right, thank you for watching. Make sure you check out that video on product targeting. I think that is the most effective Amazon campaign that there is, especially for a new beginner seller.